Hi, I'm Dr. Sissa from the Queens College Math Department, and I will be your instructor for these videotapes on basic skills in mathematics. The purpose of these tapes is to help you to prepare for the CUNY assessment test in mathematics. Now, we have a pretty good idea of what kinds of questions you'll be getting on this exam, and we're going to be basically teaching you how to handle these questions on these videotapes. We're not here to waste your time. If I explain something to you on the videotape, it's because I'm pretty sure it's going to be asked on the CUNY assessment test. For that reason, if you don't understand something while I'm explaining it to you, you should definitely stop the machine and rewind the tape and watch it again. If it's still not clear to you, okay, stop the machine, jot down the question, and you can consult with one of the tutors in the math lab. It is very important, though, that you understand everything that I'm explaining to you. Don't assume that it's not important, it won't be on the exam, it will be on the exam. I'm not going to be spending time on things that are not on the exam. Okay, so pay attention. Let's get started with what is usually the first question on the CUNY assessment test. You're given a number written in words, and you're asked to write it in numerals. In other words, using the digits from 0, 1, up to 9. For example, very simply, if I write 25 in words, most of you, of course, can write this using digits in numerals, 25. If I write 342, and I ask you to now write it in numerals, you would write 342. If I write in words 7/10, okay? Now, the first two numbers that we dealt with were integers. There was no decimal point, or if you wanted to put in a decimal point, it would appear to the right of the last digit. It can be written either without the decimal point or with just a decimal point and no digits afterwards, or just zeros afterwards. 7/10, however, is a decimal number, and it has to be written to the right of the decimal point, 0.7, 7/10. To make sure you understand the various places for the digits, let's write down a decimal point. The first digit to the left of the decimal point is the ones place. The second, the tens column. The third, the hundredths column. The fourth would be the thousands. Then we would have 10,000s, 100,000s, and millions. I'm running out of space here. Let's see. Okay, ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, millions place, and then this would be 10 millions. Okay, we can leave that one off for right now. Okay, very often when you're writing the number, you put commas after every 3 digits. So we would have a comma here and a comma here. To the right of the decimal point, we have the tenths place. This gives us the number of tenths. We have the hundredths place, thousandths place, and usually they don't go any further than 10,000ths. Okay, bearing this in mind, we're going to practice writing various numbers using numerals after I give it to you written in words. Okay, let's start with 5,237. 5,237. Okay, if you know how to do this without any problems, go right ahead. Okay, I'm not trying to change something you already know how to do. If you have trouble with something like this, you should probably think 5,000 plus 200 plus 37 for a total of 5,237. And we would write this in here, where it's 5 in the thousands column, 200, 3 tens, and 7 ones. 5,237. Okay, let's move over here and try some more. Let's write this using numerals. 60,000 134. And it'll say something like this. Write in numerals, and you'll see this expression, 60,134. Okay? If you know how to write it, fine. If not, think 60,000 plus 100 plus 34. 60,134. Okay, it is important that you first write down what you think the answer is. The CUNY assessment test is set up as a multiple choice test. Okay, and they're going to be trying to trick you. So it's possible that one of the choices will be 6134, and another choice will be 600134, and you'll find the choice which is the correct answer as one of the possibilities. But if you're not sure what the answer is first, just looking at this is not going to help you. Usually they involve the same digits but written in various places. So you should first know what your answer is and then look for it on the multiple choice. 60,134. Okay, let's try another one. $400,035. 400,000 plus 35. 400,000 plus 35. We would write that way. 400,000, 35. Okay, and as I said, remember, they're going to be trying to trick you, so you'll probably see as a possibility 4035, 40035, and so on. And it's up to you to know beforehand what the actual answer is. 400,000 plus 35. Okay, let's try another one. 12,000,000 8,000 4. That would be 12 million, 12 followed by 6 zeros, 12 million plus 8,000, and 8 in the thousands place, followed by the 3 zeros, 12 million, 8,000 plus 4 in the ones place. Adding up, we get 4, 0, 0, 8, 0, 0, 12. 12 million, 8,000, 4. Okay, let's continue. tenths. We would write that as 0.3. Nothing to the left of the decimal point, and to the right in the tenths column we would have a 3. $27 hundredths. .27. 27 hundredths. $205 thousandths. .205. 205 thousandths. Now, suppose I wrote 205 thousandths. Okay, now in every example so far, okay, I have omitted the word and. This is the first time and is appearing on the blackboard. Okay, and when you're writing numbers in words, and is reserved for the decimal point. Okay, I realize that very often we speak 205, okay, and we mean 205. But if I want 205 thousandths, okay, 0.205, I would write it that way. If you see the and, that's where you put the decimal point. So 200, that means 200 to the left of the decimal point. Think of the and as a decimal point, and 5 thousandths. Okay, this is the convention that we're going to be using. All the numbers are written without the word and, except that they want a decimal point. So 205 thousandths means 200, now decimal point, plus now 5 thousandths. While 205 thousandths means 205 after the decimal point. Okay. 12 hundredths would be 0.12. 12 thousandths would be 0.012. Okay, so don't feel that, we've just been lucky here. 3 tenths, 0.3, 27 hundredths, 0.27, 205 thousandths, 0.205. In other words, we've just been putting a decimal point and writing the number the way it was, because it turned out that we had the right number of digits. Okay, here, 12 hundredths we write naturally as 0.12. Okay, we have the 2 in this. This is the tenths place, this is the hundredths place. But if I want 12 thousandths, okay, then it has to be written here in the third place to the right of the decimal, and you must have the 0 in here. Okay, you must put this placeholder in, otherwise it'll be written as 12 hundredths. When 12 thousandths, it has to be 0.012. Okay, how about 2,000 304 10 thousandths. 2,304 10 thousandths. That would be 2,304 10 thousandths. So in this case, we didn't have to have a placeholder. It worked out exactly right. 2,304. Okay, 4 digits, and this is the 10 thousandths column. So it worked out okay. Okay, how about 5 10 thousandths? That would be 0.0005. Okay, the 5 in the 10 thousandths column. as I mentioned earlier, the questions on the CUNY assessment test will be written as multiple choice questions. So you might see something like this. 3,000,000 24,003 is written as, and I may give you 5 choices, A, B, C, D, E. And you might have, for example, 3,240, 300, 3,024, 300, 3,240, 003, 3,024, 003, 3,024, 030. Okay, so you just can't have a vague idea of what the answer should be. You really have to know. I mean, these all look very similar. You really have to know what you're doing. So let's figure this out. We're going to think 3,000,000, 3 followed by 6 zeros, 24,000 plus 24,000, 24,000 plus 3. And we'll add this up and we'll get 3, 3,024,003. Having done that, we carefully match it up to the answers. I mean, at this stage, if you've got it right, don't mess it up now. Match it up, and we see that it looks like D here. 3,024,003 is the correct answer. Okay, and even if you got this right here, it's possible that if you're careless here, you could mess it up, so be very careful. 3,024,003. Okay. You're now basically through with the first question on the CUNY assessment test. Okay, after they ask you to write a number in numerals after you see it written in words, they usually go on to give you 1 or 2 questions on basic arithmetic. That is addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division of positive integers. Now, I assume you know the multiplication tables. If not, you really have to go home and memorize them. There's no easy way out. Okay, I can't do much for you if you can't multiply. Okay, make yourself a list of them. You can find them in many books, and just simply memorize them. Okay, been putting it off till now. It's time you learned how. Okay, the problems on the assessment test are usually written horizontally, and you'll have to rewrite them vertically in order to be able to handle them. For example, you may see a problem like this: 485 plus 576. 485 plus 576 equals, and I give you a variety of answers. Okay, the important thing is you have to work this out on your own. To add up integers, we would arrange them in columns. 485 plus 576. Okay, make sure that the ones columns are underneath each other, the tens places are lined up, the hundreds places. We always start our addition from the far right here. 5 plus 6 is 11. Okay, we put down 11 is 110 and 1 1. We put down the 1 and we carry the 110. Then we have in the tens place 1 plus 8 plus 7. 9 and 7, that's 16. Put down the 6, carry the 1. 1 plus 4, 5, and 5, 10. And we have an answer of 1,061. Okay, we now look for it in the multiple choice answers and select that. That reads 1061. Okay, let's move on now to subtraction. You might have a problem that says 475, take away 238 equals. First thing, once again, is to rewrite the problem in the vertical form. 475, take away 238. Okay, we start once again on the far right. If the number, if this number is more than that, we can't just do the subtraction the way it is now. 8 is bigger than 5. We can't take the 8 from the 5. So instead, we move over here and we borrow from the tens place. We take, instead of the 7 tens, we rewrite this as 6 tens. That leaves us with an extra 10, which is 10 ones, and we add that in here. 10 ones and the 5 ones, 15. 15 take away 8 gives us 7. Okay, now in the tens place, we have 6 tens take away 3 tens gives us a 3, and in the hundredths column, 4 take away 2, that's 2, for an answer of 237. By the way, you can check your answer in subtraction. All you have to do is to take these two numbers, add them up, and if you get the 475, you know you're correct. So 238 plus 237, 8 plus 7, that's 15. Put down the 5, carry the 1. 1 plus 3, 4 plus 3, 7, 2 and 2, 4. 475, it works out. Okay, now in this case, we only had to borrow once. Sometimes it has to be done more than once. Let's try another problem. 523 take away 276. 523 take away 276. First we try to take 6 away from 3, but 6 is bigger than 3, so we move over here, and we have 2 in the tens place, so we change it to a 1, and we take the 10 ones, add it to the 3 ones that we have here, we have 13. 13 take away 6 gives us 7. Then when we move over here, we try to take 7 away from 1, and once again we find that we have to borrow. In this case, we have to borrow from the hundredths column. In the preceding example, after we had borrowed once, and the second time we had to subtract, we were able to go straight, 6 take away 3. But here, in the tens place, when we try to do the subtraction, we find that we still are short. We cannot take the 7 from the 1. So we change this 5 to a 4, and then we have an extra 100, or 10 tens, which we add to the 110, giving us 11 tens there. 11 take away 7 gives us 4. 4 take away 2 is 2. Okay, so we have an answer of 247. We can check that also. 276 plus 247 should give us what we started with. That is the 523. 6 plus 7, that's 13. Put down the 3, carry the 1. 1 and 7, 8, and 4, 12. Put down the 2, carry the 1. 1 plus 2 plus 2, 5. 523, so that does work out. So we have the final answer, 247. Okay, we've taken care of addition and subtraction. Next we move on to multiplication. You may see a problem like this. 327 times 129. Okay, you will start by rewriting this. 327 times 129. Okay, we will start over here with the digit on the far right. We will multiply 327 times 9 and put the answer here, starting over here. Okay, let's try that. 9 times 7, 63. Put down the 3, carry the 6. 2 times 9, 18, and 6. That's 24. Put down the 4, carry the 2. 3 times 9, 27, plus 2, 29. Okay, what I did was multiply 327 times 9. and I got 2,943. Okay? Next time around, what I'm going to do is multiply, and you can just erase those if you think they'll confuse you over here. I'm going to multiply 327 by 2, but it's really not 2, it's really 20. So what I'm going to do is, well, I'll explain it in a moment, but I want you to write the answer, 327 times 2, but I want you to start over one digit to the left. In other words, I want you, just put a 0 there. But the first answer you write straight on the right. The second answer, put a 0 and then write the answer. 2 times 327. Okay, let's go. 2 times 7, that's 14. Carry the 1. 2 times 2, 4 and 1, that's 5. 2 times 3, 6. So we get 654. When you're multiplying, that was, in other words, when you started the first line, you started on the right. The second digit, you put a 0 in and you started 1 over. For the third digit here, put 2 zeros in. And then write the answer, 327 times 1. So 1 times 7, 1 times 2, 1 times 3. And then add it up. And we will get 3 plus 0, that's 3. 4 plus 4, that's 8. 9 plus 5, 14, and 7, 21. Put down the 1, carry the 2. 2 plus 2, 4, and 6, 10, and 2, 12. Put down the 2, carry the 1, 3 plus 1, 4. So 42,183. Now I just want to explain why we put those zeros in there. When you're multiplying 327 times 129, it's really 327. We can use parentheses also to indicate multiplication. 100 plus 20 plus 9. According to the distributive law of multiplication, we need 327 times 100 plus 327 times 20 plus 327 times 9. So the first thing we did the 327 times 9, and we wrote the answer over here. Then we needed 327 times 20. What we did is 327 times 2. When you if you wanted to then multiply by 10, put a 0 at the end of the number, and that's what we have here. Similarly, we did 327 times 1, but we really needed times 100, so you'd have to multiply by 100, you would add 2 zeros to the right of the number. Okay? If you understand this, fine, but the most important thing here is that you would be able to do this. In other words, you're multiplying, you'll take the digit on the far right. You'll take this times this number, and you'll put down the answer starting at the right. On the second digit here, moving 1 over, okay, you'll do this multiplication, and you'll write down the answer, but starting 1 over. First put a 0 in. And when you're taking the third digit times that, you will put 2 zeros in, okay, as placeholders, and then you will write the number. Okay, so remember to do it that way. Let's try another multiplication problem. How about 4,203 times 206, 206. You would rewrite as 4,203 times 206. First, we will multiply 4,203 by the 6, and we'll put the answer right here. Okay, 6 times 3, that's 18. Put down the 8, carry the 1. 6 times 0 is 0 plus 1. 6 times 2 is 12. Put down the 2, carry the 1. 4 times 6, 24, plus 1, 25. So 25218 on the first line. Now, move over 1 and write the answer. However, it's 0 times 4203. Well, 0 times anything is going to be 0. You can put any, the most important thing is that we have the 0 here. You can just put a few zeros to keep the line. But the thing is that we indented 1. Now, when it comes time to multiplying by the 2, the third digit, you have to put 2 zeros in before you start, and then you'll write the number. So 2 times 3, that's 6. 2 times 0, 0. 2 times 2, that's 4. 2 times 4, that's 8. Okay, the first number we wrote on the right. For the second line, we went in 1, and for the third line, we went in 2 with zeros, and then we wrote the multiplications. Okay, let's add it up. 8, 1, 8, 5, 6, 8. 865,818. Okay, now obviously if you have not moved over the proper number of places, if you put this 8406 on the right, you're going to get the wrong answer. And the wrong answer that you will get will probably be one of the multiple choices on the CUNY assessment test. Okay, so it's not that they're trying to trick you, but they're going to think of all the things that you could do wrong, and they're going to appear as possible answers. So it is important that you actually do it the right way. Start the first one over on the right. For the second line, move over 1, put a 0 in. For the third line, move over 2, put 2 zeros, and then write the answer, and then add them up and keep your columns straight. Okay, that leaves us with division now. You will see a problem like this. 2,492 divided by 28. This means 2,492 divided by 28 in that form. Many of the answers in the early part of the test will come out to be integers. Okay, since you don't know what's going to happen, a good idea is to put a decimal point here so that if it doesn't come out evenly, you will be prepared to move to decimals if you have to. Okay, and in the answer, you will have a decimal point right over the place the decimal point was over there. We start off. 28 does not go into 2, does not go into 24. The first possibility would be 28 into 249. How many times does 28 go into 249? Okay, basically, this is a trial and error kind of procedure. Let's just take a guess. Let's try 9. 28 times 9. 8 times 9, that's 72. Put down the 2, carry the 7. 2 times 9, 18 and 7, 252. So it's a little too big. Okay, we want the largest, we want to write down the largest number, okay, so that the product does not go over 249. Okay, so 9 was too large. Let's try 8. 28 times 8. 8 times 8, 64. Put down the 4, carry the 6. 2 times 8, 16, and 6, 22. 224, so that appears to be right. Put down the 8. Remember, we're going into 249, so put it over the 9. 8 times 28, we know, is 224. We're going to subtract and then bring down the next digit. Okay, so first let's subtract. 9 take away 4, that's 5. 4 take away 2, that's 2. 2 take away 2 is 0, but you don't need a 0 to the left of the number. Bring down now, in other words, 2 take away, this is really a 0. 2 take away 0 is 2. Bring down the next digit. Now, how many times does 28 go into 252? Well, it happens to go 9 times. We've already seen that. 28 times 9 is 252 exactly. Then when you subtract, you get a remainder of 0. So the answer is just 89. It can be either written 89 or 89 point. However, do not be surprised if on the assessment test you see choices like 0.89 or 8.9. It is important to realize it's an integer answer. It's 89 or 89 with a decimal point after it. Okay, let's try some more of these. How about 5,526 divided by 18? Okay, you would rewrite this as 5,526 divided by 18. And you can put the decimal points there in case you need it. But early on in the assessment test, there are some integer answers. Okay, 18 does not go into 5, but it does go into 55, so we'll start there. 18 times what? Well, 18 times 1 is 18, 18 times 2 is 36, 18 times 3 is 54, 18 times 4 would be too large. So we'll say, put a 3. 18 times 3, that's 54. In other words, 3 times 8 is 4, carry the 2. 3 times 1, 3 plus 2, 5. We now subtract. 5 take away 4 is 1. 5 take away 5 is 0. This 0 we can leave out. 2 take away 0 is 2. We have brought down the next digit. We did the subtraction, we got 1, we brought down the next digit. Now here it's important. 18 does not go into 12. We're going to have to bring down the next digit. However, it went 0 times, so you must put the 0 there. And you then bring down the 6. 18 into 126 happens to go evenly 7 times. 7 times 18, 8 times 7, 56. 5 plus 7, 12. Remainder 0. Okay, now you can guaranteed one of the possibilities is going to be 37 in the answers. And if you haven't put the 0 here, okay, you're going to mess up. It's 307, the answer, not 37, not 3.7 or some other variation, but 307. Remember, if you're going to subtract, you bring down one digit, okay, like we did here. If the number doesn't go into that, before you can bring down the next digit, you must put a 0 into the answer as a placeholder. Okay, so 307. 307. Okay, what about 5 divided by 8? Okay, that would mean 8 going into 5. By the way, this can also be written as 5/8, the fraction. And we'll be studying fractions a little later on in these videotapes. But 5 divided by 8, or 5/8, can be written in this form. 8 going into 5. Now, putting the decimal point there, and we're going to add some zeros here. 8 does not go into 5, but 8 does go into 50. Okay, once the decimal point is in the answer, you don't have to worry about it anymore. How many times does 8 go into 50? 6 times. 8 times 6 is 48. We then subtract 50, take away 48, gives us 2. Bring down the next digit, which is a 0. How many times does 8 go into 20? Twice. Multiply 2 times 8, you get 16. Subtract 4, bring down the next digit, which is a 0. How many times does 8 go into 40? It goes evenly. 5 times 8, 40. So we would get 0.625, or 625 thousandths, tying it into what we had done a little earlier today. The last type of question I want to consider on this videotape is the problem of trying to find the average of a group of numbers. Now, this often appears on the CUNY assessment test. You are given a bunch of numbers and you're asked to find the average of this group of numbers. And what you have to do is simply add up the numbers and divide by the amount of numbers that there are. For example, this is to find averages. Find the average of the numbers 68, 83, and 95. Okay, there are 3 numbers, so all you do is you add up 68 plus 83 plus 95, add them all up and divide by 3, because there were 3 numbers. 68 plus 83 plus 95. 8 plus 3, that's 11, plus 5, 16. Put down the 6, carry the 1. 1 plus 6, 7, and 8, 15, and 9, 24. We get 246, and we then divide 246 by the amount of numbers. There were 3 numbers. How many times does 3 go into 246? Well, 3 does not go into 2. The first thing goes into 3, goes into 24. We put the 8. 8 times 3 gives us 24. We subtract, we get 0. We bring down the next digit, because 0, 6 is the same as 6, so we really don't need the 0 to the left. How many times does 3 go into 6? Twice. 2 times 3 is 6. We subtract, we get that. So the answer, the average, is 82. And that's what you would look for in the multiple choice. Let's try another of these. And that will be the last problem that we will be doing on this videotape. Okay, the problem may be stated in words in the following fashion. A student had scores of 75, 83, 85, 68, and 84 on 5 exams. Find the average of these grades. Okay, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 scores. You will add up the numbers, you will divide by 5. 75 plus 83 plus 85 plus 68 plus 84. Okay, 5 plus 3, 8 plus 5, 13 plus 8, 21 plus 4, 25. Put down the 5, carry the 2. 2 plus 7, 9 plus 8, 17 plus 8, 25 plus 6, 31 plus 8, 39. 395. We then take 395 and we divide by 5 because there were 5 scores in this example. How many times does 5, well, 5 doesn't go into 3, but how many times does it go into 39? 7 times. 5 times 7, 35. We subtract. 9 take away 5 gives us 4. We bring down the next digit. How many times does 5 go into 45? 9 times. 5 times 9, 45. Remains a 0. And the answer, the average, is 79. And that brings us to the end of this tape. Remember, if you have any questions about any of the problems that I went over on this tape, please consult one of the tutors in the math lab.